Hello.
Hey, this thing on? Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi?
You guys hear me?
Hello.
Hello?
Get what?
Hello?
We are here.
I think you're on mute. Hang on.
No. You're
No,
what?
don't.
Plug and
No, I
unplug
think-
it. Press the power button.
Don't restart. Don't restart. Don't restart.
Wait.
Oh, no. I think no
Always
one's on
works.
mute. We're all good. Welcome to Always
We
Strikes.
did it. We did it.
Those jokes, the Zoom call jokes never get old, you know? We're going to be doing those for another 20 years.
Oh yeah, seriously. It will be a flag planted in our generation, Just
Oh,
Yeah.
our kids will be like, "What was that?
yeah.
It's like our
No.
ancestral memory.
A rotary phone?"
We had a
Floppy
like a remote-
disks? That's the save icon.
we had a remote baby shower for Julia before the baby was born, and it was a big Zoom call with a lot of parents and aunts and uncles, and there was only one moment where it was like, I think you're muted. Hey. Anyway, I was dying, but
Kind of a miracle. Man.
I was mostly very proud of everybody for not doing that. So anyway.
Nice.
Uh, let's see. I'm Miles. I'm joined by co-hosts Matt and Jack, and we're welcoming back Rocco. Welcome back, Rocco.
Thank you. I love
Welcome
being
back,
here.
Rocco.
Rocco!
It's your boy.
It's been a hell of a week in Age of Sigmar.
Indeed.
I know. It's like an aftershock from the original destruction of the world that was.
Exactly.
Yeah, or if you played Cities, this is like the third time this has happened to us.
Right?
Yeah. You guys have weathered these storms before, and
Yeah.
yeah, certainly. I mean, I think probably a topic which is really on all of our listeners' minds, of course, is going to be the meat of what we talk about today. Though we might have a few other fun things to go into.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little. Maybe just a little. Why don't we start out positive? I hear that you got yourself in a couple accolades, a couple tournaments. Actually, both of you guys, Rocco and Jack and Rocco.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's dive into that. Rocky, you want to go first, or should I jump in?
Oh, you go first. Your thing is way more impressive. I just had a lot of fun.
Nonsense. You went to the much bigger tournament, but
I did.
I was feeling like a little bit FOMO-y about not being able to go to a Depicon this year, but I had the opportunity to go to a localish RTT down in Connecticut, this incredibly awesome venue, called the Tabletop Gaming Center. If you guys have a chance to get down there, a little bit outside of Hartford, and
Out of
so
Hartford.
yeah,
Okay.
outside of Hartford, like huge place, like tons of tables, tons of space, like.
That's
Like the
nice.
cramped gaming store where your stuff is getting knocked off, like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
precarious chair. It's the opposite of that.
No,
The
I grew up north of Hartford in a town called East Windsor, so that's cool that they're actually adding stuff like that and more hobbies.
yeah.
But keep going.
Nice.
totally mind blowing. Can't promote
Yeah.
it enough. But just to give like a little taste, and not go too down the rabbit hole, but a little taste.
Uh-huh.
They literally had nice wooden rolling gaming carts, like the kind you see people like bring to tournaments, like in like
Yeah.
LVO or something,
Yeah.
in the store just for people to use for
Shut up.
Oh my
convenience.
gosh.
My
There were
God.
like 8 or 10 of them or something like that. I'm like, this is unheard of. Like
Next
it's
time I
like
go visit my in-laws, I'm
palatial.
gonna ditch them and go to this store. That's
They hand you
Absolutely.
tea in saucers there? What
Oh my
is
God.
what?
It was next level. Like I thought, I was really spoiled because of, the local store right by me, TJ's Cafe and Games in Milford, where shout out,
Uh-huh.
we're hosting an Always Strikes Last tournament
Hell
a
yeah.
week from Saturday on the 13th. Come around if you want to, or sign if you want to, and you can make it. But that place is great with space, but we still don't have some of those amenities. I was just absolutely
Yeah.
Nice.
But
My friend Don has one of those carts that's like collapsible, so he like brings it to every tournament. And I had
Yeah.
completely forgotten about it until you just mentioned it. And now I need to go figure out how to get one of those.
They're
I
really
have
nice.
the
we
same
need to find that.
realization every time I go to
Yeah.
a place. We probably all need them. Matt, you're saying you want one too? Is that kind
Yeah.
of where your head's at? Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah,
saying,
motorized
you
one
want to
that I can
endorse.
sit on.
Always strikes last. Sponsorship.
100%.
There we go.
There
Yeah,
we go.
we'll get some merch made up. Some Always Strikes Last collapsible
Team
carts.
Ireland too over there.
That's right.
Come
Speaking
on,
of which,
Boyle.
actually, if I can butt in before we go into your tournament there, Jack,
Mhm.
we did actually hit the button on some exciting Always Strikes merch.
Oh,
Always Strikes
yes.
Last merch, which is we have partnered with Baron of Dice.
Shut
By
up.
which I mean we have paid Baron of Dice some monies to make
Go
some Only
on.
Spikes Last
Very
dice.
a very mercantile partnership,
Let's
but
Exactly.
go.
It was
still good.
really transactional if you in
Yeah.
a way that, you know.
Nice. No,
But
actually, like I know him a little bit personally too. That's really cool. I've been really happy seeing his business kick off with that, and really cool y'all are getting some dice.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. So
We
we're
always
not entirely
dice
sure.
last.
Yeah. We're not entirely sure what the deal is going to be with them. We might have some sets for sale. We might have some,
Cool.
we're going to figure that out. But the definite way to get your hands on some dice is to find us at an event and
Mhm.
say hi and, shake our hands. And that'll be the real way to
Okay.
get your hands on some of these.
Absolutely. And high likelihood, though we're just firming up the exact details on it, they will likely be involved in our Patreon tiers. So huge benefits even beyond just access to the
Ooh,
Discord now. So
You
let's
love
keep
to
our
see
eyes
it.
peeled on that.
really?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
those are going to be really sweet. We can't promise they'll always roll sixes, but
Hmm.
you got to
I
be
don't think
pretty
there's
good.
sixes on them. I think it's our little logo instead.
Okay.
That's better
Yeah.
than a six.
Good.
I don't know if
Good.
that were
Oh,
it's this.
As
I
long as
mean,
it's not on the one.
in
Yeah.
all honesty, what we're going to do is, once they get over to the States, we are going to make sure that they're vacuum sealed and I can't touch them, so I don't curse them.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it's going to work. We've got a system, an elaborate system, a Rube Goldberg machine, if you will,
Hmm.
set
Hmm.
up so that each individual dice is untouched by me. No
Yep.
curse is planted,
Yep.
and
mhm.
no eventual rolling of ones sent out through the universe.
There we
Exactly.
We
go.
will not attain critical mass by putting that many dice with that many curses in one room.
Mm.
That is my
Indeed.
promise to you.
Well, it's going to be exciting days ahead with that. Let me jump in real quick and I'll give you guys the quick version of the tournament recap because I know we have some other things to talk about today. But not to bury the lead, the Cabal of the Blackened Snowflake continued their reign of terror. And
Nice.
I was fortunate enough to go 3-0 again with them, leaving the Cabal undefeated in tournaments thus far. Uh,
Nice.
Played a couple really good games. First one was against a guy named Steven Sinicola. Really cool dude. Had like a really fun, like all blood crushery kind of themed corn army.
Mm.
Uh, Hard fought, but stuff managed to work out my way. I had a particularly inspired moment when I used Be'lakor to sort of like pin everything in his deployment zone. So instead of getting pinned, I pinned, and that made
Hmm.
things a little easier to deal with all the corn shenanigans. But real fun and kind of cool to see how much damage those guys can get up to when they're running in.
Oh
And even
yeah.
some salty blizzards weren't enough to totally erase those units. They're just so chonky with wounds.
Yep.
Um,
Nice.
Powering through. The second game was against another really cool dude I had a chance to meet, and I would think has now started to become a listener of the show. So a shout out to you, Andy Shea, if you're tuning this episode. But incredible pleasure of a game. We were like thinking hard on it and trying to get through it on this one. But he was playing, Stormcast with a bunch of dragons, and Ionis. And I was doing
Nice.
my thing. And I think, it was real fun, kind of came down to it, but I almost had PTSD from dragon rallies because I think there were
Oh
two
no.
times in the game where like this unit of like
Oh.
four dragons just like wouldn't die. Like early on, he kind of thrown it into my right flank, and I'm like, yes, you've come to me. And then they didn't die.
Hmm.
And then all my other plans to kill them didn't quite work, even though I got a blizzard through. And like they would get down to one dragon and rally one back. They get down to one dragon and rally one back. And it was real fun, like kind of nail biter all the way through because of some of that stuff. But a real pleasure of a time. So
Just the
so
why
Nice.
won't you die?
exactly.
Nice.
So super fun, but dust settled, and I moved on to the final round. And I played a guy named Adam Weinstein playing my old
Oh,
faves, Heed Knights of Slanesh. And
Nice.
yeah.
yeah, yeah, fantastic game, fantastic time. We were doing of course, the mission where like the objectives are diminishing and getting blown up. And so
Mhm.
it was very much a mini game about who is going to be left sitting on the objectives which are here before there are no more objectives to score.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
and it was a good time. I had some good luck, killing his keeper of secrets pretender general who was put unfortunately 11 inches away from a wizard, not just over 12 inches away from a wizard, and that was all the difference in terms of a blizzard, taking its toll. And I was able to finish it off my own bliss barbs. But that game was pretty fun because we're playing for who's going to get that final win. And he had 3 units of bliss barbs, and I had 2 in the list. And so we kind of
Okay.
had like a bliss barb standoff. Like we both knew that whoever foolishly put their bliss barbs in bliss barbable range would likely get bliss barbed. Say that 10 times fast.
Yes.
And some cagey playing. End of the day, I was able to take it. With the help of some of the sweet and very focused upon ice magic that the Cabal has studied for years in the Fortress Monastery.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, the dust settled. Great tournament, 3 great games, 3 great guys. Met some folks there I hadn't seen before, and as well as some other friends who were also present, didn't have a chance to play, and had a great old time. But 3-0 there, and I ended up tying the guy who did actually win the tournament, Dylan Thoreau, for first with 3-0s. But we were tiebreakered all the way down to strength of schedule. He took it on that,
Ooh,
so ended up
ooh.
That's how they get
snagging
you, man, every
second.
time. Strength of
Yeah.
schedule. What bullshit.
I,
Uh,
so I felt like I couldn't have done really more about that. So I felt very good about everything and end result, and kind of got
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
saunter off jauntily. Results are
Sweet.
decent. Now I'm looking like I'm in fifth for Slaves of Darkness, at least for the moment. So I'll take that as a
Nice.
Very
salvo into
nice.
the new year.
I
Yeah.
would say jaunter off, jolly
Jaunter or
saunter,
saunter.
a
Yeah.
jaunter.
The
Okay.
Jolly Saunter.
It's a
Yeah.
jaunt.
Yeah.
It's
What about you,
wonderful.
Rocco? You went to Adepticon, like the
I
bigger tournament.
did. I did go to the big tournament. I went to the big convention. I actually played 2 tournaments there. One was the
Oh my
old
God.
world. Yeah, I played 8 games of Warhammer, 2 different systems. It was very silly. Two old world's just complicated, and then I played Zinch. So I had complicated and then complicated. Old World with the Empire was a doubles event. Really, really quickly. My partner was Tomb Kings. The episode is actually up on my YouTube channel. So a little
Nice. Oh,
shout
I think
out
I
to
saw that.
myself.
Nice.
Uh-huh. Thank you, Miles. I appreciate you. Uh,
I
and
saw that you linked it. I haven't watched it yet, but
yeah, I knew where that was
Yeah.
going. I'm like, yeah, no one watched it, man. It's okay. Everyone's like the old
And
world. Screw that game after what happened this week. But anyway, had a very fun time. Had probably the most fun out of everybody there. Like everyone said that too. We got tied for favorite opponent.
nice.
That's
Uh,
that's the best result at those sort of
yeah,
events.
the TO is like, yeah, man, it's a little rough running this because everyone's trying to be kind of try hardy on a new event, but you guys were just like giggling the whole time. I don't get it. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. You can find out there. And then I did the teams doubles event for Age of Sigmar, the big marquee event actually of Adepticon for AOS.
Mhm.
Has always been the teams thing, and it's doubles. It's 1,000 points. I talked about it before in this podcast. We did the total orc conversion for Zinch.
Mhm. Mhm.
My teammate stole the show though with his conversion of a bloodthirster riding a big pig uh,
Nice.
through
oh,
the
that's
bloodthirster
awesome.
wings on the pig too. So it was a pig flying while the bloodthirster, the boomthirster's axe was coming down. We got a lot
Oh
of good
man.
hobby points out of that. This is one of the hardest hobby things to get. Like one team in the history of this event ever got like a 90, and that was this year. It goes up to 100. We got a 79 because we didn't have the cinematic display board that was like 20 feet tall.
You
So
didn't
yeah,
have 13 levitating platforms, you know?
that was there this year. My
Yeah, I
God,
saw that.
it was really freaking cool to see.
Now, next year you gotta up it with the magnet
Have them
floating,
floating.
Eldar
Yeah.
Yeah.
piece. You know.
Oh
Oh yeah.
shit.
The
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
super cool the super
Oh.
cool magnets where
Yeah,
you have
the
to
one
heat
that
up
just
them like with liquid nitrogen to keep the thing floating and
it
Yes.
just spins it
Oh.
around.
I would not trust my model on
Oh God, I would never.
I would not
Uh,
trust
Power
myself
of
with the
science be
model.
damned.
my old world models, when they fell, they were like solid plastic. It was fine. The Age of Sigmar stuff is so fiddly. I'm like, ooh, ah, ooh. I
Oh
cut
yeah.
that thing's wrist off to get it the new weapon. Don't fall, don't fall. But
yeah.
That's so
oh,
true. I mean, it's a quick aside on that, Rocco, because I think you hit on
oh
something.
please.
There is a certain amount of planned obsolescence and having tons of like spiky bits where they know it's got to break. What can you do
Yeah,
but buy a new one? But
yeah.
continue.
So yeah, so how the games went, it was we had Zinch, Nurgle, Korn, and Slanesh all paired up. Big highlights was we had one of our teammates actually was in Canada and couldn't come down for the event, so we had a last minute sub come in. It was one of my teammates' friends from kindergarten, and now they're in their late 30s and they're playing Warhammer. That was a lot of fun to see them come in.
Oh, that's
His name's
great.
Julius. He was a Golden Demon pin finalist last year
Oh,
at
cool.
Adepticon. So his hobby's fucking amazing. I forget if I can
Jeez.
curse or not, but I gotta say it was fucking amazing.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
And he ended up playing Nurgle, and it was the Iron Jaw Pig Riders, the Gore Grunters, but with wings to be the Flying Blight Kings,
Yep,
Mhm.
whatever that
nice.
is. Um, and
Huscoil Blight Lords.
Blight Lord, excuse me.
Yes.
So I know there's some Nurgle players in here.
Mhm.
You
I said
know
that with
it.
authority. I'm gonna go check that I got that
You
right.
did. Not again, Miles. This won't be like last time with the
Like,
battalions.
No,
I
I nailed
believe
it. I nailed it. Huscoil Blight Lords.
Nice, nice.
the
Yeah,
important
so
thing is that you establish your credibility by not having any doubt or hesitation initially.
Yeah.
yes, it is sacrosanct. You are a content creator. You cannot be wrong. That's the important part here.
We make the
Uh,
truth, Rocco. We make the
yeah,
truth.
it's a podcast. Of course you do. Um, so anyway, the first game was actually myself and Julius of my Zinch going into it was Deepkin and Newfek.
Mm.
And this was actually a team that we ended the tournament last year beating the snot out of. So the first thing they said was, "Yeah, we're here. It's a revenge game." We're like, "We don't even remember you, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah."
yeah.
You left a lasting impression. And they did get their revenge. In my game, we lost out by like 2 points. We had to end it in the third battle round. If it went on to 4 or 5, we would have caught up and
Mm.
won. But it was just one of those things. There was too many models left on the table for both sides. Even though, again, they lost their always strikes first. We had all our mortal wounds and everything. Disease was
Mhm. Mhm.
rampant. And most importantly, my acolytes did 4 damage to their Killian King that came in and just murked my Gaunt Summoner. But he had the potion of hateful frenzy on round 2. So when round 3 started, he has to roll to see how many mortal wounds he takes, and he killed himself. So we were swimming beautifully after that.
Amazing.
But it
I
was
like
one of
the
those
pun.
things.
I like the pun there, by the way.
Thank you.
Also,
Thank you.
did they call their team the Surf and Surf, like SURF and
No.
SERF?
No, they
Missed
had some.
opportunity.
They named it after their gaming club. Like it's all right.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
know. So
Hey,
we
Lovey.
Yep. No, we took the L there. And the next round, I got paired into with our Slanesh player, but we got Host Duplicitous, Pink Horror, and Cairo spam, and Mega Gargants. And our lists were not made to kill Mega Gargants. But we spent probably 2 hours of that game through the first 2 turns because they had to keep picking up all the horrors we kept killing. Like our turns, like I was taking little notes. Our actual turns only took maybe like 20 minutes, but it was literally just the picking up. And like they're playing Gargants, you'd think, but we killed again like 100 wounds of horrors. And then it was just after that there were 2 Mega Gargants on us and couldn't kill them. Round 3, I got paired with our Corn player, and Corn got a rules change where if a friendly model casts a spell on a 5-up, you stop it and don't get a blood tithe. So as a Zinch player, I'm like, well, I'm not summoning anything. I'm not doing anything. It ended up going against Iron Jaws and OBR, and we got the win on that. So we were coming back. And my teammates were kind of having a little bit of the same luck. But then rounds 4 and 5, your boy had a comeback in their games. I got paired with Corn again, and we just rocked everything that came at us. Ended up finishing 3-2. The final
Awesome.
game was a nail biter. I won't go too into it for time, and I'll have more of it on my YouTube channel when I interview everybody. There's a little tease. Yeah, I ended up 3-2 in the end. Got amazing hobby scores out of everything. I mean, it was a great time.
That's
Sounds
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's like nothing bad could happen after that. No horrible riding that high. Man, I'm definitely thinking about my Sacrosanct Stormcast list after
Nice.
that.
Nice.
Yeah,
My world is ending.
Oh God, no!
Oh my
I
God. Yeah, so
Sorry, I'm already laughing at my own jokes. They haven't even said them yet. Continue, Miles.
so for everyone at home, the
My
topic we
cadence.
had for this week, which we have been talking about earlier, was like, let's think about what things we think are gonna persist into the new edition because there's so much mystery going around in the new edition that we don't know what's still gonna be there and what's not gonna be there. We'll make some guesses and discussion about. And then of course, everybody saw yesterday's news of the removal of Beasts of Chaos and a number of Stormcast and what else? Skaven. There was a bunch of odds and ends as well.
Warcry, chaos stuff.
Yeah, that's right, all the chaos, all the Warcry stuff.
The
Um,
real loss was the Mistweaver Sigh. Everybody was using it.
that
It
I
was
had
that
that
is the
model.
best.
ever-present.
Pour one out for
That model is
Mistweaver.
the best Eldar Warlock you will ever see.
Oh my God! Listen,
I mean,
it was.
Yeah.
I love Silver Tower. The
Great
board
farce
game.
here.
no, Silver
I
Tower
love
is
it.
by far my favorite game that they
Again.
put out for the Hero Quest style.
They did. They did. It
Oh,
was great, and
Yeah.
it actually was a gateway to get my wife to play D&D. Was doing that as a generated thing with the heroes and stuff, and slowly tilting her more over to RPGs. And then, yeah, her heart's broken.
Yeah.
yep.
Her elf
My-
never had an army.
There was a lot
My-
there.
My Dark Eldar Homunculus Mistweaver Sigh tips their mini arms down now.
There we go.
You know, the funny thing about that is I think Mistweaver Sigh, like in the lore back whenever they released that, I think there was something about them having foresight or whatever, and they had the foresight to be very useful in 40K.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like, we know
Yeah.
we're not going to be used here. We might as well make ourselves a great conversion
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a legend before they
The
were
war,
legend.
the war priest from that box is actually in my Empire army now. As a war priest, so because he never
Mhm.
got an AOS scroll. So
There we
That's
go.
fair.
His
Well-
little baby Gryphound is still amazing.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
I know we're going to cover so much ground there, but obviously there
God.
were some suspects that we had worried might be on the chopping block, or we kind of known were going to be in the chopping block, and a lot of very upsetting surprises to a lot of folks. And I
Yeah.
think, where to start. I mean, maybe Rocco, I have a question for you.
oh please.
How are you going to proceed with your Stormcast for little bits?
All right, so ripping the band-aid off. Stormcast had way too many war scrolls to start with. They made them into Space Marines and fantasy for real. It wasn't just a joke anymore.
Yeah.
But the Thundercats, really, the Dracolines.
Yeah.
Listen, you could have taken like the Fulminators and resculpted them, but you have the stuff that wasn't. It was starter box stuff for second
Yeah.
edition that had the big boom of all the new players that everyone has these models. You took out all the wizards except for the big dragon and the new knight level wizard nobody took. That
Is Knight and Cantor gone?
Knight and Cantor's gone.
Oh damn. Well that's those are my only two Stormcasts gone.
Yeah,
So Lord Ordinator and Knight and Cantor
Yeah,
both
gone.
gone.
both
So-
gone. They
They're
took out
definitely-
the Stormcast artillery and the Celestar ballista.
No
They took out-
ballistas.
Yeah,
I have no
ballistas.
love for the Celestar Ballista, but that's fair enough.
Oh,
I can
know.
see. I remember some people liking them a lot.
Oh
The-
yeah, I rolled hot with them in my first tournament, got me second place, and
What
then
did-
helped me get first place in my second tournament. Like
They're
my
cool
my
input.
original tournament list is gutted. I did do an inventory check. About 3,000 points of my stuff is just gone.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yikes.
I'm about 3. Well, actually, no, because we lost all the Paladin units. I'm
Yep.
at like 3,500. 3,500 of 4K stuff
Yep.
is gone.
I converted
Yeah.
up a Lord Castellan with a little baby Gryphound dog from that warrior priest to be me and my dog. And I had this
Nice.
cool like super galaxy flowy cape that I took off of
Mhm.
Achillean King and did all this cool stuff. That's all gone.
It's rough. It's
It
rough that
is.
this is happening because I mean, I don't know. There's just so many places where things you thought were really safe.
Yeah.
And we were almost looking forward to seeing in the game. We're like
Yeah.
a new war scroll, some new way of interacting.
Or like combining the hero
Yeah.
profiles down, I thought was what was going to happen. We
Yeah.
didn't need 20 night questers. We didn't.
You
we
could,
didn't
but you
need-
could have used any of those models for any one you wanted, as long as it's the right base, right? It's
Yeah.
totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, have like a knight with a wing upgrade. Then that's the Knight Azeros. Instead of give it a wizard upgrade, make it the Knight Incantor. But they're just gone. Some
Kinda-
things I will say some things we know like the Liberators are going to get new sculpts. Some things that are,
Yep.
but like Vanguard Chamber lived, the Dracoliths live? The Fulminators, Concussors, Tempesters, and Desolate, they lived?
Yeah, many confusing decisions. Many confusing decisions. Like
That's
I for
so true.
one was super happy to see my Paladors still around because they are
Hey, Dabs.
so different.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
that's a good point you guys kind of raised right there, Rocco, especially like with the thought of, well, there might be some new sculpts. I think
Hmm.
that there's like three levels of bad in terms of the impact, right? But there is the lightest level where
Yeah.
a lot of old sculpts got retired, which is part of that group. They say quite clearly there'll be new sculpts to
Yeah.
represent these, and you can of course use your old models as these for as long as you want, just as that war scroll with like the right basing size. So at worst, there's a rebasing. Your 10,000-year-old clan rat can still be a clan rat. I don't think those are really going away. They're just going to be new
No.
clan rat war
No.
scroll. And there's a lot of stuff like that which will maybe soften the blow. But obviously that's not great. The worst one is where you're going to get legended. But even that, I think they did say there was a 1-year moratorium, right? So
It
there's going to
was.
be a
It
last
was.
hurrah of
Yes.
2024 full season to play Beast of Chaos or to play like, the Warcry
Hmm.
units or whatever you want to do before they're gone, which will hopefully give us some time to figure out what to do with them so they're still useful beyond being nice shelf decorations
I
or,
mean,
to play Warcry.
well, that's the other thing too, that being a moderator in a few different discords of thousands and thousands of people that has been brought up. No, they didn't say the future of Warcry, which they really should have to like, ease some people's minds because now they're all worried their game might be dead if they're not making Warcry models anymore. And those are getting legend and just gone.
Mhm.
But like again, it's not. No, it just sucks, and it hurts you. You invested your time and your money and your toys, and people's feelings are raw about it all.
Yeah. That
You
Yeah.
know,
I think that's the main thing, Rocco, is that it sucks. And we can
yeah.
talk about the silver linings and we can talk about maybe this was good for the game in the long run, but right now it just sucks.
I don't know what happened to the Phoenician still from when that got cut from cities, and that's still getting
Ah,
lore. And all the Phoenix Guard got a short story. Like I don't even know what's going on with some of these other things, let
they're
alone
just
this all
glossing over
happening.
that one, aren't they, Rocco? It's like it's still probably there.
It
They're all
is.
Lumineth
No.
now.
It's under
They're all
siege.
Lumineth. That's what
Yeah,
happened. They're
Lumineth
just
went
all
over
on
there.
Lumineth.
Look at
That
That's what,
Lumineth Junior affiliate.
you know what they're not? They're not beasts of chaos.
That's right.
Like what
Oh
all
man, I'm
happened to
so
the
sorry.
I hope they write a short story where all the beasts like just get like led through a giant realm portal with a big hunk of meat and it goes straight to the old world time portal.
Uh-huh.
Close the loop.
Yep. Close that loop. Morger comes back and takes his children home. That's
Oh man, but I mean, even that's like that's not helpful. Like just
no,
because
not
like
at
you
all.
can play them in,
It
oh
is
yes,
not
let me
Yeah,
steal
helpful at
you
all.
if you want to go play this other game. Like I
it's
don't know.
so true.
I have the most rose-colored glasses when it comes to like, oh, I'm not maybe not the most, but very rose-colored glasses when it comes to like fantasy and the old world and stuff. And
Mhm.
I picked
Hmm.
up the rule book again and was reading, like, oh yeah, that's right, it's this fucking game.
Yep. Yep.
It's kind of true, right? Because there's such different games, and I won't say that I won't enjoy playing Old World sometime, or maybe do some
Mhm.
events at some point. But like AOS is where it's at. AOS is the primary game. It's really
Yeah.
fun. It's super dynamic, and frankly, like the Beasts of Chaos work wonderful there. Like, I mean, I really feel
Yeah.
for Matt because like they add so much flavor. They have that like depth of like there has to be like this element in the game somewhere, and you can play it if you want to. And
Hmm.
Mhm.
even functionally, they force people to account for a totally different way of having to deal with stuff because of all the ambushing in the last couple editions. I'm really
Yeah.
sad to see that go. We don't need to have every faction be just like, here's your god monster named super thing and like three
Hmm.
companion units. It's good to have a horde of,
Just
brain
goobers just
things
running
out there.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it bugs me. I feel like we were lost out there. Personal opinion, I wasn't as attached to Bonesplitters, but I know that's affecting people too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
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 No,
I'm
my
Wargog Prophet.
I'm
yeah.
perfectly fine with the Wargog Prophet going away.
Show me on the doll where it hurt you,
Can you just
Miles.
imagine like
My orc on
when
pork, man.
I
when
know.
Oh,
when the
Matt, you
GW
kicked in
employees
the
had to
nuts 3 times.
yeah
Oh.
when the GW employees had to go into the affiliate realm to tell him They
Hmm.
probably picked like that guy they wanted to retire but just wouldn't do it voluntarily. And the
Hmm.
prophet gave him like a hard stare.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Silver lining for GW.
Yes.
Ugh.
I'll keep them coming all day long. Like Rocco, I feel like the
Uh-huh.
Stormcast Eternals are going to have a real hard time with that 10-year reunion. The irony would be severe for at least half of the faction.
One of my favorite things was the memes coming out of this, and one of them was it's like Sigmar lied. Yeah, Stormcast and Eternal, they last about 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stormcast a little bit.
I
That's the
I
memo.
think that's the best silver lining of this whole situation is the memes have been on point and I
Oh
love
my
it.
God.
That's
So
true. I mean, there's some good ones. I don't want to be callous though, because I feel like people have gotten hit with this in different levels. Like there's folks like Matt, with Amazing Army, we all love and
Yeah.
loves play, just totally
Hmm.
got disappeared in the old world. And there's people
Yeah.
who were so somewhat affected because they had Stormcast Eternals,
Hmm.
but still have units, hopefully in their
Yeah, I
collection
can
and a path
still
forward.
field a 2,000 point army. Is it good? I mean, it currently no, but we'll see what happens when we get new rules because we do have a new edition to redo everything.
It's so
that's
true.
true.
But
I mean,
yeah,
what to say? I got the lighter end of the punishing brush with my Slaves to Darkness, but I'm still feeling it too. Like with my
I mean,
all of my
Horns of
cultist
Shut
units.
came out like a year ago.
They're all like newish. Like this, the
Yeah,
Tarantulas Brood box came in the box with the
yeah,
Dark of Savagers,
yeah.
and like that's what 2 years old. Like a 2 year old unit is
If
now
that,
squatted. And I don't know, like just thematically, I really loved, and do love like all these
yeah.
weirdo like cultists kind of worshiping chaos in their own way. I thought it made the
It was
idea of chaos
flavored.
so flavorful. And now they're kind of like contracting it so the official chaos is like evil Conan.
Yeah.
No other choice. And that's fine, but I like the other ones. And like I do have $500 plus of painted assembled warband models I was using,
Ooh.
so not the greatest.
And that's we're saying is the light side of it. That's you get into
Yeah,
how expensive this hobby gets, and then they just say no. You're
like
relegated to a specialty game again.
it's true. Like I mean, it's like a cry me a river because of my little trials and travails there pale to like someone like the whole Bonesplitters army or Matt here. I mean, Matt, you got
Oh God.
1.5 armies of punishment, all of your beasts and
Yep.
half of your Stormcast, right? Is that what it was? I think you
I
said.
And
mean,
all of the Savage Orcs.
all my
Yeah.
beasts, all of my Savage Orcs, which it was an entire Bone Splitters army.
Mm.
Um, uh, cities we know is going to go, right? So
Yeah.
I've already
Yeah. At
lost
this
that.
point, at this
An
point, we're
entire
looking at elves
Fenrir
and
army.
dwarves. Uh,
It, all of my Beasts of Chaos. I have almost all of the Warcry warbands that are getting nixed.
Wait, there's a common thread here.
oh
This
Note
was
to
Matt.
self.
I think this was a
Matt, what?
targeted strike on
my
Matt,
Wood
is what we've
Elves.
learned.
Hey, what you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Wanderers. That hurt.
You
That
still have your
hurt.
Skaven. You still have your Skaven. They're
Some of
surviving.
them.
Some of them.
My
Not
my
all of them are probably living, but some
my
of them were in
Skyer
the preview
Acolytes.
video.
My
Oh yeah,
Skyer
those are.
Acolytes. All
Oh.
of them. The
Uh,
entire list of Skyer
Hey
Acolytes.
Matt, what's your next favorite army? So I know what to avoid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what are you
that's
gonna play now? It's like
Hey bud, do you like Mega
yeah.
Gargants?
yeah.
yeah,
Matt,
just pop me into one of those.
I
Matt, I
do
think your
think,
new official name is the Harbinger.
yeah,
I
right.
am.
That's what the
Well,
Dawnbringer books were about. You thought it was the Harbinger models. No, it's Matt.
well, I do think, Matt is well, I used to work with a guy who was a Wizards of the Coast designer before he worked with me, and they have this like ethos about different types of player motivations in their game, and there's one called the Brandon where if you're interested in the thing that drives you to play Magic the Gathering is finding that one combo that nobody else thought of and making it work.
Sure.
Mhm.
Like really dredging the bottom of the barrel to find like what are the hidden gems that people are overlooking. And I think Matt is like really good at that.
Oh no.
And you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And
Uh,
as a result, when they do these kinds of colorings where they're specifically targeting that kind of stuff,
it's not
and I'm
funny,
sure there are
but
lots
it's
of other
funny.
players out there who really, and that's I think a pretty normal kind of motivation that lots of people have
Yeah.
in these kinds of games. So
It's very true. I mean, it's really fun to win in an unexpected way and be the unique
Mm.
snowflake, to puns all day.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like I do the same thing. Like I love going into like weirdo war bands and underworlds things and saying, "Oh, this is a cool combination." And a lot of people have had moments in the sun doing that kind of stuff and
Hmm.
kind of winning in a way which isn't like boring and predictable. And the game is
Yeah.
lessened when we don't have that level of depth. I mean, we can't like throw stones in new edition because we don't really know what it's going to look like yet.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
they're going to add in new stuff too, just creating design space. So we'll just come back in a different way and charge us more money for it. But
Hmm.
we want that ability to do that again. We don't want it to all be streamlined to the point that it's routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say too, the timing of this, because that was a kick in the gut of losing everything. And then today's preview article was being showing the rules, showing some new war scrolls. We just learned Nagash can't, miscast and stop casting. He gets a little miscast protection. All the
Good
things
for
you ever
him.
want. His war scroll looks really useful and good. He's got a lot of things on there that are
Not to
color
mention,
coded and
I'm
icons.
loving the color coding. Actually, that
Yeah,
was what I was going to say.
it is sort of like some promising stuff there for sure. Like I could see the system being like, oh yeah, this is great. I don't
Yeah.
feel like we lost anything big from this War Scroll so far, except maybe morale. I mean, if people really like morale games, and maybe there's other function that they built there to
So
account for that.
what might happen with this is if they go the 40K route of if your unit is battle shocked, like it can't take commands and it can't capture an objective or hold it. Its objective count drops to 0. So maybe that's where they're going with this design space when they show the
Yeah. I
turn order.
I do feel like in a lot of ways, like the bravery stuff, there's a whole in the current edition of the rules, there's a whole Grand Alliance that basically ignores bravery. There's basically two Grand Alliances that ignore bravery for the most part. There's
Hmm.
all the demons and and all the undead, right?
Yeah.
Functionally just ignore it. And
Yeah.
then the whole interesting thing about it is how can I ignore it?
Yes.
Like that's the only interesting, sort of gameplay element is what are my ways to ignore this piece of the game because I don't want to deal with it,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so yeah, I think we're gonna, we'll miss it for the first week and then we'll forget that it ever needed, like
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. Death players will notice it very little. Oh, sorry, Bone Reaper players will notice
oh
it
Oh,
my
not at
God, yeah.
all.
they're gonna. Yep.
But there are some interesting questions with all that stuff too. I mean, I think they were alluding to, and this article, the one before, about how command points be totally different and like to be a
Hmm.
limited number. And I think they actually said at one point there would be no ability in the game that gave you extra command points. And so that leads into some
Ooh.
questions
Yeah.
like, what does that mean for super command centric OCR Bone Reapers or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Or are
yeah.
they going to account for
Yeah.
that?
That
I'm
feels like a
sure it'll
pie
be
crust type
fine.
promise, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
give it 3 months and they'll give us one, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to make this unbreakable rule. Hey, look, we broke it.
It's a core rule mechanic, baby. We just change those all the time in the battle tomes.
Exactly.
Yep. Yep.
But
Oh,
like some of these things, like it's wild that you can take a
mm.
war scroll like Nagash, which is
Yeah.
currently like 2.5 pages, you know,
Yeah.
and get it into this like nice little thing. You can see like ward 5 up, love that as a keyword, like
Hmm.
why do I need to have a whole sentence about that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just like a lot of little tightening of information, and I think that's going to be really nice. I
It's
don't care for
true.
this damage D6 weapon though. What's up with that? Let's get rid of those. Why aren't we getting rid of those?
D3
They're
plus 3, baby.
Yeah.
Let's
they were going
go.
away from casino weapons. D3 plus 3 is so much better. That
It
just
is
it
Yeah.
feels
so
good.
nice in 40K. It is so nice. My great cannon, if it's like D3 plus 1 or D3 plus 2,
Yep, yep.
it blew up a Stegodon in the old world with like one shot. It was freaking amazing.
Amazing.
Uh,
It just takes
yeah,
away the feel bad of the one, right? Like I
it
had a similar
does.
experience on Monday with Shorin in like a Funza game. He swiped I think it was not, that was the big dragon, Karazai. He swiped a Karazai and got two or three mace hits through. Felt
Okay.
real good to see the D3 plus 3.
Yeah,
Steady damage.
yeah, because he's a big
Absolutely.
monster with a hulking weapon. That thing should freaking hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I need to do the match with we have a Varangard player for Worlds, and he's like, I bet I
Mhm.
can beat Gargants. I was like, all right, dude, but like that terrain throwing, that on average ices a Varangard every single shot. Right?
You're
Yeah,
talking about like King Broad's cannon arms, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's
because it's
ridiculous.
yeah,
D3 plus 3, so on average that's 5 damage right there.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
you know, he's got his
I
little six
know,
up
I
board,
know.
and I'm sure it doesn't quite, but like,
Let me
yeah,
tell you something about that because it was King Broad Stomp and the Host Duplicitous thing.
yeah.
They put a terrain piece in the middle of the board. I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna do whatever. Uh, because of the doubles event saying like your allied things are friendly models, they got to teleport off of the terrain piece too and not take damage. So
Oh.
the Host Duplicitous stuff teleported. They deployed on the board, like on the terrain piece. He threw it, and then ended up being 6 inches away from us. And that's why we had to fight horrors for the first 2 hours of the game.
Oh my God. What a
There's
dumb
some cool
trick. I love
combos.
that.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Uh,
I mean, I feel like doubles events, they're for silly shenanigans, like
exactly.
yeah, you're not going there for the tightly balanced, match play
No,
generalship. You're going there to see what kind of ridiculous shenanigans somebody else came up with.
and it's amazing every time.
Yeah.
Ah,
But but yeah, I gotta say, like the getting back to our quote unquote topic was like there's a lot of good stuff coming out on the new edition. I was liking Wednesday's preview about the non-battalions, the regiments.
yes.
Um,
Yeah, whatever they're calling them now.
yeah,
It's because it's the system that Conquest, Last Argument of Kings does too, where your units are tied to the hero you bring, and then all that being just one drop. It makes sense. It's what a lot of people like playing with a battle
Mhm.
regiment anyway.
Yeah,
So it'll be similar enough to people coming from third that it'll make sense.
yeah.
And for newer players, like, yeah, of course, the hero brings their favorite troops. That fills that out.
No, and I liked, and it sort of gets us a bit of what's nice that's happening in the new 40K edition, where you have these heroes that can attach to specific units, right? They have a list of which
Yes.
units they're allowed to attach to, and then they give a bonus to that unit. And so I imagine we're going to get little combos like that, where, oh, I
Hmm.
took my Chaos Lord, right? And he
Yeah.
in his little battalion has some warriors and some chosen, and they get a six
Some
up word save
buff.
or some
I
nonsense or whatever.
Yeah.
I do love that. I think
Yeah.
that that sort of is a solve, and almost even kind of what we were talking about a couple episodes ago. Like, what is it like that the foot hero does
Yeah.
other than
Yeah.
sit there and look pretty? Well, it's like, how would you have chosen and Chaos Warriors with a Chaos Lord who was their leader?
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
function now, man. The extra ability is just spice, but like,
There's a reason.
yeah, that way, like you don't end up sticking all of your choices you want into the auxiliaries and losing out on the bonus command point and having some problem that way or whatever. So
Yeah.
this all of a sudden really makes armies thematic. So I'm excited to see this sort of come together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you can imagine stuff even like Look Out, Sir. They haven't previewed any of this, but like, what if Look Out, Sir is really, really powerful, but only works with guys in your own battalion?
That would be good.
So if
Maybe
your little hero's off on his own, very snipeable. But if he's
hmm
with his guys, pretty much untargetable,
untouchable.
you know?
Yeah, no, I'd even hope to say that that hero can only buff their own units with whatever the new version of command abilities will be.
Sure.
That's one way to just keep that to there, and then you've got layers of list building of how do I pair heroes with what. Like I'm thinking like for my Deepkin, well, the Achillean King's probably taking all the Achilleans, but do I need to bring a Thrall Master now to go and bring my different Reavers and things? How do all these things fit in? And
It's yeah.
it's making me think, and I like that in a new edition.
Absolutely.
It's a new
Think
puzzle to solve.
thinking's good. I mean, I guess dust settling. I feel like as long as that extra command point really does make a huge difference.
Yeah.
And as long as, being able to choose to go first or second is still as impactful would change to the double turn.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I think people will really have to gravitate towards the residents. I think like it'll be a trap to like do too many auxiliaries,
Yeah.
because that's the
That'll
flavor breaker.
That's true.
But at the
Oh,
same
and
time,
the
it feels like they've opened the gates to stuff that felt like, remember the old Grand Alliance times from
yes.
Mhm.
late one, early two, where it's like, look, if you don't want to be a real army and you just want to take a hodgepodge of random nonsense and see if you can make that work, by all means, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but I think they have left the door open to that just a little bit,
Yeah.
but they're like, hey, here's a trap for you. Now
Yeah, no,
your army will function like a hodgepodge of random nonsense. Like, hey, go order that night hunt over there to do that thing. Oh, it's just flying around does listen to me, of course, because you're not a
yeah,
good
yeah.
ghost.
Yep.
And
And
yet every
then
once in a while, someone would just, roll up a Grand Alliance destruction army and
yeah.
absolutely savant the hell out of it, you know?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. With like Thunder Tusks when they were good, and then
Yeah.
orcs, and then
Noblars
whatever.
for no reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yep. Yep.
it's so funny. Like I'm just trying to imagine the difference between like the destruction player average and destruction player savant. It's like destruction player average, push it forward.
Yeah.
Destruction player savant, push it forward with restraint.
Yeah. Push it forward. Yeah.
Mm, mm,
No,
yeah.
no, I was joking there. I got to give our destruction friends more credit than.
Yeah. But also things that we know about the next edition is if you do take the double turn, you can't score a battle tactic that turn. You're locked out of
Mhm.
that.
Yep.
That'll be an interesting thing.
hmm
We've
I was thinking about that. Like, there's already a bunch of missions in the GHB where there's like, if you, the player who goes second, which is so gets to do a thing. And so I'm wondering if they're just like taking those and consolidating them up. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yep. I mean,
You
like
know,
it's
like
yeah. Sorry.
uh currently, like, there's a bunch of missions where the player who goes second gets to choose which objectives are on, or gets to choose
Which ones blow
uh
up if you're
yeah,
behind in
which things blow
score?
up.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Which phase CP is disrupted in,
I
or
forget that all
whatever.
the time. I
Yeah, no, it's
forget
the
that all
worst.
the time. Ah,
Same,
it's so
same. That was
useful though when you remember.
Yeah.
it's I think it's really going to come down to that one too, whether or not the battle points are a significant percentage of the score, if that ratios are made, like was it
Mm,
like, 40%-ish or something like that right now,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
if it was like 10%-ish, I wouldn't care as much. I'd be like, you're gonna make that back. But it'll have to come down to something like that. If all things remain relatively equal
yeah,
and they weigh some missions with like extra spicy stuff if you are going second,
hmm
like, ways to come back or ways to maybe score additional points,
yeah.
then it'll become a real choice. You'd have to really be sure it'd be like a death blow to even take it.
Mm,
Sure. I mean, I don't know. I currently feel like you don't take it unless you can unless you are like knife to the throat already.
I think
yeah.
so too.
One
It's
way or
really
the other.
sharpens that choice even more so.
Yeah, yeah. Like, if you're taking it and if you're not like getting the kill stroke out of it, like, you didn't need to take it. You shouldn't have taken it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Oh, well, it's going to be real fun, real interesting, but I feel like
Uh,
it's Wild West now. It's a strange
yeah.
environment to be playing the game in right now, knowing all
Uh,
the stuff is coming.
yeah, I got a tournament on the 20th. I'm going to it's Brewski or Brew Sky. I don't know how to actually pronounce it. It's at a brewery in Michigan. A buddy of mine's birthday is
Nice.
that weekend. So our
Wait, which
gaming club.
brewery in Michigan?
Okay.
Hang on.
Hold on.
Let's get some nerdy Michigan knowledge in
Oh,
this
Michigan. I didn't
segment.
know we like Michigan that much in this podcast. All right.
Was it like Bellhart? Was it like Two Bells or
Uh,
Bellhart? What's that
I
one you
mean,
like the
I
most?
know the
Yeah, two.
town is Milford Charter Township. There's 72 people going to this.
72.
I know that yeah, it's going to be a huge thing. I know that they have wait staff going up and down, and you just have menus at the tables while you play.
Nice.
And the rounds are a little longer
Is
to
this at
accommodate
Bell's, or
that.
is this like,
Well, I don't know Michigan that well, couldn't
yeah,
tell
fair
you.
enough. Okay. That's all
But
right.
River's Edge is the name of the brewery.
Oh, fun.
A
That would
brewery
be
with
great.
beer, wine, cider, and a restaurant for those that have legal age. There's a dedicated bar in the event hall, as well as wait staff that attend player tables throughout both days of the event. Um, and yeah, no, it's just going to be a big party. And at one point, almost no one was going. And then our gaming club, the Pants Mafia, decided to invade it basically for our buddy's birthday. And then everything filled up. They actually extended how many people were going. Because at one point, this was like a 32 person GT. And the next thing I
Mhm.
know, it's 70 something people.
Nice.
So we got hyped around it. And yeah, it'll be a good time. I'm taking my cities. I've redone my list after the nerf and playing 8 games with them after the nerf and going 2-6. It was pretty rough, but yeah, I know. Before that, I was 4-0 and really enjoying myself. Turns out when you take, I said it on this podcast too. The mortal wound shooting mattered because I was right. The I'm still defensible, which is great. Like switching my Warforger to just the +1 save aura, great. My stuff
Mhm.
doesn't die. The problem is my opponent's stuff doesn't die either.
Also doesn't die.
Yeah, so it's funny. Like the Flesh Eater Court matchup is good and bad for me in that they're never going to res a unit because I will never fully kill a unit off.
I gotcha.
But at the same time, I'm never going to kill a unit off. I'm not going
Yeah.
to score anything.
It's sort of funny. The narrative of that Rocco is probably just like your army is slowly going over to become his army as they see the
Yeah,
light.
yeah, yeah. They're just like, man, that buffet looks good. What are we doing out in the damn woods?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, defend the king. I'm on the wrong side.
Yeah. That's Sigmar. That's the God Emperor, right? He's right there. He's just walking around the big. That's a hammer. That's not a mace. That's a hammer. What are you talking about, Steve? Shut up. Ah, but yeah, I'm swapping out. I had Belthanos on the list, who was great for all the utility, but no damage.
Hmm.
Uh, like retreating and charging, flying, run and charge always. Beautiful. So instead, I'm putting in the Smash Griffin that's a lot cheaper. And like if I roll bad, it does like 18 damage with the artifacts and stuff I put on it.
Mhm.
That sounds
Uh,
great.
can't be wounded only on 4-ups. Um, you know,
People like that one, Rocco. My
yeah,
friend Dylan Throws, the guy actually won that tournament I went to, was doing cities. I think he had one of those in his list. Seems
it's
like
great.
plays a good role.
I killed one in my last game of the doubles event. It was cities and fire slayers I got paired into, and I was paired with a Slanesh player again. And I mortal wounded the shit out of that. It was great. We all the bliss barbs shot dead a bunch of rune
Mhm.
suns on draws.
Hmm.
And then the cities player, I'm like, I know your orders. I know what you're gonna do. I know how you're doing this. I'm in your mind. In my Skyfires, mortal wounded the Griffin, the I bolt of Zinch them. I had my moment. All my magic worked. All the spells popped off. And that's how you deal with that, which unfortunately I now know. So now I'm like, okay, I got to be careful how I send this Griffin out because he got to be supported.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
and then I'm also bringing a unit of Cavaliers too because again, losing my mortal wound output, the rest of my army is just Ren 1. So now I'll have Ren with the lance. It'll be like Ren 3 on the charge, maybe Ren 4, something stupid. And then I can
Nice.
have Ren 2 to Ren 3 on the Cavaliers, depending on the
Mhm.
orders I give them. So we'll get some punch. But, that's. We still got a little bit of third left, you guys.
No, we do. And Worlds is going to be the last hurrah here with third.
Okay.
And so yeah, well, no, it's still full steam ahead for right now.
Where's
Even though
where's Worlds at this year?
Amsterdam, same place as
Amsterdam.
last year, actually. The
Okay.
guy Tom, who ran it last year, got voted
Yeah.
again because he did such a good job. So
Oh, good.
uh,
Good.
um, but yeah,
All
so
right.
I think we've come to a good place. I know, Jackie, you gotta maybe hop to a meeting. This is how these things work. But
Yep. And poor Matt's
Indeed.
crying in the corner right now.
yeah,
Exactly.
Matt needed a minute, but that's okay.
Yeah. That's valid.
Yep.
Exactly. Well,
But great episode, guys. Thanks, Rocco, again for joining us.
Happy to come in.
yeah,
And
much
Love hanging out
appreciated,
with y'all.
Rocco.
we'll do this again soon. And
Hell yeah.
thanks to everybody for listening all the way to the end.
Absolutely. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out
Yeah.
the Patreon if you're so
Yeah.
inclined.
Get into the Discord.
Exactly. Some dice maybe in the future associated with such extravagances.
Very
Exactly.
exciting. Very exciting.
All right. Well, till next time with the latest thrilling updates from the world to be.
Love to see it.